I am so glad you guys are all here. My name's Jessica Pearson. I'm Mrs. Rexburg this year, and my platform's all about strengthening marriages. So I got my degree in marriage and family, and I've just been so passionate about it ever since. I've learned so much about it, and I feel like I've gotten degrees on top of it because that's all I like to listen to. People are like, what's your favorite book? I'm like, have you heard the 5 love languages? But I just love it so much. It's so interesting to me. And I'm just so excited to talk to you guys about it today. And I'm so grateful for my 2 other speakers here, Tim Merrick right here and Jason Hunt. They are so awesome to come speak. And they're the guys who really know all the good stuff because they've been teaching for lots of years on campus. So before I get started, I'm going to thank all my sponsors. They're the ones that make nights like this possible. They've helped me financially support events to be able to help people. And these people down here on the bottom are all people who have helped donate free date night giveaways for you guys. So at the end, you guys will all get a free date for you guys to go on. So we've had so many generous people. Rexburg is just the best if you haven't realized that already. There's so many good people here. So this is my family. I've been married to Brandon for 12 years and we'd have 4 kids. And they're so much fun. It's never a dull moment at our house with 3 little boys. It's always exciting. Someone's always climbing on top of something or coming up with something creative. So with all the psychology classes that I've taken, I made an observation about you guys already. So I'm going to tell you guys what that is, and then I'll tell you guys something about me. So there's just something about a January night that you get home from work and you get your sweats on, and then you don't want to leave again. So I thought, maybe this room won't be that full. I just wasn't sure. But look at all of you guys. We have to bring in chairs. That is super impressive to me. And that tells me a lot about you. And there's this thing that psychologists talk about called the selection effect. And it means that an outcome isn't by the thing itself always, but by the kind of person who chooses that thing. So let me explain it a little more to you guys. So let's say I had 2 friends and I referred a parenting book to both of them. And neither of them read it. But one of them went to the store and bought the book. That person is technically more likely to be a better parent just from going to the store and buying the book. Is it because the book is magic? No, probably not. But it's because that person is already doing so many things right. They got out of their sweats, they got off of the couch, and they went to the store and picked up the book. And that tells a lot about that person. And that's all of you guys tonight. That's what I see in all of you guys tonight. You guys came in the cold January night and came here to learn, to pour into your marriages, and to learn to be better people. And I just think that's so impressive. So thank you so much for coming. So this is something about me. Oh, I was going to have a picture of the cold lady on your couch. I forgot about that. I'm pretty famous for forgetting about my PowerPoint. I just get too excited. But okay, something about me, I love statistics. So some people think they're boring, but I think they're so fun. And the reason why is because I feel like statistics tell a story. And I'm going to tell you guys a story right now with some statistics. So the first one is, most of you probably know this one and won't be surprised. 40 to 50% of marriages will end in divorce. Okay, the next one is 60% of people who have been divorced will get divorced again. And that number continues to go up with every subsequent marriage. Okay, if you guys will humor me, it starts to get better. I know that was kind of depressing. Among the people who have been divorced, 1/3 admit to regretting the divorce and wishing that they had worked harder on their marriage. And here's my favorite one, and this makes it a happy ending. But researchers looked at couples who described their marriages as very unhappy, unhappy enough that divorce was on the table, but chose to stay together anyways. When those same couples were checked on 5 years later, 80% of them said that they were happily married. That's a huge number. If any of you guys have ever done statistics, that's a pretty big number. So this story, you guys can come up with whatever story, because I'm going to tell you my opinion of what story this tells me. But this tells me that a feeling that you have right in the moment doesn't mean you're going to feel that way forever. And if something's really, really hard, it doesn't mean that it's going to be hard forever. And I love those statistics because it shows that some people can do some pretty amazing things when they decide to work together and work hard. So, I am going to tell you guys about something that I came up with. I've done a ton of research on couples that are happy and that are thriving and have a remarkable marriage. And so I came up with 5 things that I believe that makes a marriage remarkable and makes it thrive. And I'm going to share those with you today. So the first one is respect. And it probably doesn't come as a surprise to very many people, but a lot of people have a hard time being respectful. When our emotions get high and we're just frustrated and we feel like our spouse is being super mean and lots of other reasons. Sometimes it's just hard to be respectful. It's hard to be in control of our emotions. But I heard someone once say that you should treat your spouse better than they deserve. And that's always stuck with me. So think about what you think they deserve and treat them even better than that. Because you will never regret treating someone good, and you can't regret something that someone else did. So your own choices are really what really matter in the relationship. So a lot of people think that if you're not fighting in your marriage, that one of you guys is getting walked on. That's just simply not true. You can disagree every day of the week and still have a great relationship as long as you're doing it respectfully. So you don't have to like the same things. You don't have to be doing the same things. You just have to be nice about it and talk about it, and that's okay. And the coolest thing is when you guys have different opinions and come together, you I'm sure you guys have already experienced this and do it in a respectful way. Most of the time, you're both right. And you come up with this thing that's like, oh yeah, both sides totally make sense. So 5-to-1 ratio. So every relationship, if you want it to thrive, you need to have 5 positive interactions for every negative interaction. That's a big difference. So if you got mad at your husband for leaving his socks on the floor and then he forgot to shut the garage door and he didn't like when you ate for dinner, but then you're like, let's hang out tonight and watch a movie. Your relationship probably still isn't as great as it could be. So positive interactions are so important. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you've all heard of the 5 love languages, but if you haven't taken the love language test, you should take it because it's so cool. My husband and I, for a while, I was trying to fill his love tank the way that I felt mine should be filled. So I was complimenting him all the time because I love words of affirmation. And he just wasn't feeling that great. And then I thought it was physical touch. And I'm like, what? Like that can make you that happy? So I gave him a big hug. I would start giving him a big hug every day. And he just like totally changed. So that's just an interesting thing to add on. So if you guys want to look into the 5 love languages, it's so good and so helpful. So yeah, marriage isn't about agreeing on everything, so loving each other through everything. Okay, my next one is resilience. So resilience is a learned skill. So some people think you're either resilient or you're not, but that's just not true. So as you go through hard things, you become more resilient, especially if you do it with the right attitude and the right view. Being resilient in marriage is essential because as we know, marriage is going to have so many things that come up. Well, life is hard anyway. And so when you're married to someone, there's going to be hard things, no matter who you're married to. So being able to be resilient and choose to work through that is such a good thing. And having a growth mindset. So um, instead of saying this is so hard, it's never going to work out. Saying this is so hard, and it's not working out yet, and not the word yet to the end of whatever you're going to say. Things you can work through so much if you believe that you can. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. One of my favorite quotes. So believing that you can work through things is just one huge step in the right direction. Okay. So many people get married and they think, oh my goodness, why is our marriage so hard? I must be doing something wrong. But the truth is, if you think about anything in your life, it's hard, right? Everything in life is hard. That's good. Everything that's worthwhile is going to be hard. At least I personally have not found something super awesome that hasn't been hard. And I feel like that's how it goes for marriage. And marriages don't just happen and they don't just come and create this wonderful thing on their own. It takes intentionality. brick by brick, piece by piece, interaction by interaction, and that's how you create something remarkable. It's by those little things that you do throughout the day. Okay, recreation, my absolutely favorite are. So I love to have fun. That I'm a yellow. You guys have you ever taken the yellow or the color test? I'm a yellow. Fun motivates me, so I love to have fun. So this is my favorite. So is recreation important? Yes, recreation is huge. And there's so many people that think, well, after we work through this, then we'll go have fun. Or once we're happy, we'll go do this. But I like to think of recreation like a savings account. So if you are having fun, every time you have fun with your spouse, it's like putting money into your savings account. And then when something hard or there's something boring like Saturday chores that you have to do all day, you've had so much fun with them. You're like, yeah, I can spare a few change. I can spare this. And it's so critical. And people sometimes just put it off as nothing that important because it's fun. Everybody wants to have fun, so it must not be that important, right? But it totally is. So my family, we were going through something kind of complicated and hard, and we were trying to come up with a solution of how we could, there's one of our kids going through something and how we could help them and what we could do. And every night we'd talk about it and we'd in these conversations, we try to work through it. And then my husband came home one day and he said, I just think we need to have more fun together. And so every night when he got home at 5:30, we ate dinner and had the dishes done by 6:30. And from 6:30 to 7:30 every night, we had something called family fun time. And we'd go out and play basketball. My son's choice, go out and jump on the tramp. My daughter's choice, dance parties, watch a show together, play board games. And we did it every single night. And the kids would get so excited. Like, what should we do for family fun time? And it was so crazy that there was all these complicated things going on that we were trying to resolve and trying to work out. But they just kind of melted away once we were having fun. The kids were getting along better. We were happier. And that's how I feel about recreation. It's extremely important. So, okay, I think I told you guys all that. Okay, research. So research is so important. And I can attest to this because with my degree at marriage and family up at BYU, Idaho, I learned so much. And I feel like when I barely got married, it was so much harder because I didn't have the tools and the skills that I learned. And I'd come and take marriage classes and family classes, and I'd come home and apply them. And my brain just reconstructed. And it's just the way that I think and the way that I live now. But it takes learning to get there. And sometimes when you're reading and when you're learning, you're like, this isn't doing anything. But it works slowly, step by step, chapter by chapter. If you like audiobooks or if you like YouTube videos, we live in a day and age where you really can find anything that you want for free on the internet, which is really cool. So keep educating yourself. Educate yourself on how to work through conflicts, which I promised on my flyer that I would help you with too. So I actually have these too. But how to work through conflicts. Read this. It'll be the beginning of your education. There's things on how to, like the 5 love languages. There's things on how to have fun together. There's so much learning to do, and it's really exciting. It really does change the way you think and view your marriage. Okay, so, and you guys are already doing this tonight. I forgot I was going to say that again because I'm just so impressed that you're all here. So, and then the other thing is research and learn about each other. So a really cool thing about marriage is you're never going to know everything about your spouse because they're going to continue to change and grow as their life goes, and you will too. So you have either 2 options. You can grow apart and you can get into your own things and grow in opposite directions, or you can grow together and stay curious about each other and learn about each other, whatever job they're in, what hobby they're into at that time. Stay curious and do those things with them. For my husband and I, we found it really helpful to get into each other's hobbies. So Brandon loves football, and I grew up in a family with 3 sisters and then a little brother that was on there, but he wasn't into sports at all. So when we barely got married, I was like, you really sit there for 8.5 hours to watch one game? Like, that is such a waste of time. I'm sorry for the football lovers. I've changed. It's actually super fun now. But I just didn't get it. And then he was the same way about me for camping. So I love camping so much. Like, I was like, we're going to grow up and be camp hosts someday, get our own camper. And he's like, we need a shower and we need like things like that. And so, and there's my yellow personality, but it was so funny because we kind of, for a while, we just kind of were like frustrated with each other's hobbies, but we did something where we decided to learn and to grow together. So Brandon actually gave me football lessons every night for a while, and he had the cereal out on the table and was showing me all the people and what they do and where they go. And I love football now. It's so fun. And he actually really likes camping now too, which is so interesting because I hear so much advice say, well, let them do what they're going to do. And like, that's fine. And that is one option, but get into each other's hobbies and learn about what each other like. That's even better. I think it's so much more rich. Okay. So my last one is religion. And for my husband and I, this isn't a religion class, but I feel like I can't talk about marriage without it because it's made such an impact on our life. So Brandon and I feel like when we are closer to God, we're closer to each other. But this can actually apply to no matter what your beliefs are. So even if you don't believe in God or whatever your belief system is, believing in anything that's bigger than yourself and believing in purpose and even a sense of community, believing that when we pour into our marriage, we're creating a strong family that's going to create a strong community. Anything bigger than yourself makes sometimes these little problems that you get so myopic with, it kind of makes them seem a little bit smaller because what you do really does impact so much more than just yourself. And studies actually show that marriages tend to be stronger when they're anchored to something bigger than just themselves. So those are my remarkable 5. Thank you guys so much.